Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Willie A. Price, Willie A. Price Speaks. Welcome to another night of a Better You lifestyle. Tonight, we are discussing a mother's love. As you know, every week we do a different show. Tonight's show is all about preparing young people for success, and that's why we call it Mother's Love, the things we do to help our younger people to be successful. What we do is once a week, we do a different show. The first week of the month, we do Understanding Your You, which is all about understanding who you are, what it's going to take for you to be successful, the things that you can do to create a better lifestyle for yourself. That's why we call this a Better You lifestyle. Second week of the month, we do A Mother's Love, where it's all about how we can help our young people, our children, our nieces, our nephews, the young people in our community, helping them to create a better lifestyle for themselves. Financial, physical, personal, financial development, self-esteem, self-awareness, whatever it takes to help our young people to have a better chance and a better understanding for who they are and what it's going to take for them to be successful in life. Our third week is Financially You. Financially You is where we talk about ways to help you to become more financially fit. Financial literacy, savings, investing, real estate, stock market, starting your own business, vocational education, anything that's going to help you to create a better you lifestyle for yourself in the finances. A lot of people have problems just doing savings. They always say, I don't have the opportunity to save, or I don't have enough money to save. I have too many bills that I can't afford to save. But that's where budgeting comes in. That's where discipline comes in. So that's how we create all those opportunities. Then our fourth week is usually making your house your home. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing making your house your home. But what we're going to be doing on that fourth week, instead of talking about just, creating opportunities for you to buy and sell real estate or maintain the home that you're going to be living in, we're going to be doing something new. We're going to be talking about the CAPS program and the Universal Design Program. CAPS is Certified Aging in Place Specialist, which is what I am, and a Universal Design Essential Specialist. And on top of that, I am a rehabilitation specialist. So I am the only CAPS and Universal Design Essential Rehab Specialist in the country. So as a result of that, we will be talking about how those programs and how those skills will help you to age in place, help you to be able to grow old in your home, not just as a home that's going to be a nursing home or looking like a nursing home, but that's where the universal design comes in, where I help you to understand how you can modify your home, where it helps you to age gracefully in your home without making your home look like a nursing home. But tonight, we're talking about a mother's love. And as a result of talking about a mother's love, I want to share about a couple of programs that we have coming up for the next 8 weeks. We're going to be doing one program in the city of Buffalo, which is From Boys to Men, which is our boys mentoring program. And then we're going to be doing the same program From Boys to Men in the city of Niagara Falls. And with that city program in Niagara Falls, we're going to be doing From Boys to Men as well. The thing is, with both of those programs, they're both 8-week programs. And once that program is over, it can extend to another 8 weeks where we can work with the same children, or if they give us a different group, then we'll do what we did for the first 8 weeks. But if they extend the program where it continues with the same children, then we have additional 8 weeks that we can do various activities and build on what we were doing in the first 8 weeks. But again, a Better You lifestyle, we are all about helping our parents and caregivers and things like that to create better lifestyles for our young people. So we do mentorship programs for parents as well. So if you're a parent, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to get a book that I'm going to show you guys. These are actually two of the books that we use in our programs. The programs that we're doing right now are Boys to Men. I'm trying to get this in the screen here, kind of looking kind of crazy. All right, so this is our, can you see me here? All right, there we go. So this is our middle school book. This is from Boys to Men Middle School Edition. And this one here is our middle school, our high school book from Boys to Men, and this is the high school book. And what we do is, depending on the group that we're working with, we use one of those books in our programs. And these aren't books that the kids just sit and read and, you know, recite back to me. These are the workbooks that they use that cover the things that we do in the program. And as a result of those things that we do in the programs inside the workbook, it covers a lot of those areas. So this way, when they go home, instead of having to try to remember what we did or what we talked about or how to do certain things, they actually have the workbooks to be able to go in and look at those things as a refresher. And then in the back of every single book that we use, all of our books, workbooks, whether it's this book or whether it's No Dream is Impossible, which is our other mentorship program with both boys and girls, each one of the books, all the books actually has blank pages in the back or line pages where it's like a journal. So we do journaling with the young people where they can sit down and write out ideas and thoughts and things that they may be thinking about, or goals that they may have. And what they do is they can write those things, but what it also does is it helps them to work on their penmanship. Because as you know, they've taken cursive writing out of the classroom. They've taken cursive writing out of the classroom. And I was watching something earlier tonight on, I don't know if it was Instagram, TikTok, one of those programs I was watching, and it was a group that was talking about the lack of understanding for what they call the Gen, I don't know what generation this is, Gen something, what Gen Z or whatever this group is that in this young age group now, but they were talking about how the lack of being able to read cursive writing is going to affect our young people. And we think that it's just, you know, writing their names and things like that. But they were showing that a lot of the products that were out here, that are out here in the community, out in society, were using cursive writing as part of their branding for their products. Johnson & Johnson was written in cursive writing. Eddie Bauer was written in cursive writing. Coca-Cola on their cans is written in cursive writing. And as a result of not being able to teach our young people cursive writing, they couldn't read it. And then they made the point that if you look back at our historical documents that were written during the 1700s and 1800s, they wrote them in cursive writing. So the Declaration of Independence and all the different documents that were used during that time to help make this country successful were all written in cursive writing. So again, you already have a problem where our young people don't want to learn history and don't want to read about history and don't want to write anything. And now you're giving them documents that help to create this country, and they can't read them. They can't understand it. They don't understand what it is. And when I do my program, and when we have the boys come in, they have to sign their name or write their name or whatever you want to call it, write their names. And you don't teach them cursive writing, but you don't teach them how to print their names either. You don't do printing. I remember growing up in school, we used to get the with those forms, those sheets, and it would have where you can practice writing all your cursives, your A's, your B's, your C's. You would go through the whole alphabet in cursive writing, and then they would have it in the small caps and then large caps and all those kind of things. So you learned how to make the different alphabets, the different alphabets that you had to write out, and it was in cursive writing. And then you had a separate sheet where it was just in print, where you do your A through Z, but it was in print. It wasn't cursive, but it also taught you how to write and create the letters that you needed to write in order to even write your name, to either write a paper, whatever the case was, to be. you had that paper that you used to practice when you were in middle school, actually before middle school. So first, second, third grade, we had a sheet of paper that would have the little lines, and we would fill it, write it in, and trace the lines, and we learned how to make an A and a B and a C all the way up to Z, and it would be cursive or it would be print. But it taught us how to do that, and they don't do those things anymore in the classroom. So I do have those forms, and I do use them, not the cursive, because they actually penalize the kids in the program, in the schools, not in the programs, but they do penalize the kids in the schools. If they come to school and they write in cursive, the teachers actually penalize them for doing that. So even a child who may have learned cursive at home and comes to school and he's writing in cursive writing, the teachers are penalizing them, because some of the teachers can't even read cursive by this time. Some know, but then if you have a younger teacher, depending on how young that teacher is, she may not even be able, or he may not be able to read cursive writing. So everybody's at a loss. So what we do in our program, we do print. We have the sheets that we use to print for. We do financial literacy, where we talk about savings. That's how we first start them out, is talking about the importance of saving their money, because, you start talking about investing and all this other stuff, they're lost, because they invest what? How do I invest? But if you talk about saving, how do you save your money? One of my biggest things, what I do is when we talk about savings, when we get started, I ask how many young people go to church, which is still, it's kind of funny that we talk about it, because I say, how many of you guys go to church? And some of them raise their hands, some of them don't. And then with the ones that go to church, I'll ask them, I say, well, in church, they ask you to give a certain amount of money every month. Do you know how much money that is? And it's called tithing. Do you know how much they ask you to give? And the young people, most of them, they go to church, have no clue what I'm talking about. Even those who go to church, they have no idea what tithing is. So it makes me kind of wonder, when they go to church, what are they doing? What are they paying attention to? I've seen young people in church and they're sitting up there playing video games, or they're sleeping, laying across the pews and they're knocked out asleep, or they're sitting there in the service and they're playing some kind of video game. And as long as they're quiet, and the video game's volume is down, the parents are okay with them not paying attention and not learning. There used to be Bible study. Remember, as a kid, you used to go to Bible study or children's church, where you would go into children's church and you would learn. They had books that were set up that you sat and you learned about the Bible. You learned about Jesus and Jesus in the manger, and, all that whole, whatever they taught you in children's church was all about learning the basics of the Bible. But I don't think they do those things anymore. Maybe some churches do. If your church does, let me know. Maybe we'll see some young people to your church. But those are the things that used to be covered in Bible study. And while you're thinking about, if you think about it, though, even though they were talking about the Bible and what, Jesus in the manger and Mary and Joseph, even though they were telling those stories, the kids had books that they had to read from. So not only was it teaching them about the Bible, but it was also working on their reading skills. And that is one of the many problems that our young people have these days, is many of them cannot read. They're reading below level. They can't write. They can't do cursive. So they're writing below level. And when you have a child that can't read and you can't write, you become frustrated. And as a result of that frustration, when the teacher puts them on the spot and asks them, we're going to go around and we're going to have everybody read, what do? They act out. And they act out. So what? So the teacher can have them removed from the classroom. So the teacher can send them to the office, because they would rather be put out of the classroom and sent to the office than stand before their friends and attempt to read and end up being, feeling embarrassed because they can't read at the level that they're supposed to be reading at. So they would rather be labeled as a troublemaker or a problem child and sent to the office to avoid being embarrassed by their peers, in front of their peers. So we do a lot of things in our program, Boys to Men and No Dream is Impossible, where we do what is called right brain learning. And what right brain learning is where we go into our programs and we do video tapes, we do audio books, and then we do public speaking. So with the public speaking, it takes that fear away from having to read something out loud or to write something when they don't feel comfortable with their penmanship. We use that public speaking, and we use the audio books, and we use the videotapes where we show a video and we'll stop the video at different sections and we'll ask questions. And then they stand up, and they have to stand up because we're doing public speaking. We're always doing public speaking. So then they're going to stand up and they're going to talk about whatever that question was or whatever they saw in that section of the video, and showing that they understood what they saw. And then we're asking them questions about their answer, or what, additional questions about that section of wherever we stopped the video. So it allows us to be able to see that they are comprehended, because if you think about the things that our young people can do, they can hear a song 1 or 2 times, and after hearing that song, they can sing and rap that song back to you like nothing to it. They can watch a movie and tell you all about that movie that they've seen, but normally those movies are rated R movies that they shouldn't be watching in the first place. And they can recite back to you things that they've seen in that movie just like nothing. But if you were to give them that same movie on a piece of paper as a script, as a play, if you were to give them that same information on a piece of paper and ask them to read it, they would have no clue what it is. You have a lot of young people. That's why we do the right brain learning, because even with the right brain learning, that's where you have kids who are great with their hands. They can build a car, they can take a radio apart and put it back together, they can do all kinds of things with video games, and they can go online and they can do all these different things online, and the kid is great at it. But then as soon as you hand them a book, and with the same information that they've been doing all along, they have no comprehension of it. They don't have no understanding of it. And it's hard for them because of the reading level. So that's why we do the things we do in our program, which is, like I said, through what is called right brain learning. And this is through, I posted earlier this week about Jawaza Kunjufu. We use a lot of his theories and trainings and books in our program. And his programs and theories and everything is based on right brain learning and right brain education and right brain trainings and things like that, where you're using audio books and you're using videotapes and you're using public speaking, which again takes away that fear for young people to be afraid to, or embarrassed to get up and speak in front of their peers, those kind of things. And and even with the public speaking, they are reluctant to get up and speak in front of their peers. But the way we do it so differently that by the time they really realize that they're public speaking, they've already gotten it down to a science. And as a result of that, they're not only they start out talking about things, personal things and ideas and thoughts and feelings and things like that in the classroom, and the kids are asking them questions, I'm asking them questions, and we're going back and forth and we're having these discussions, and it allows them to be able to voice their feelings, their thoughts, their ideas. And then we bring in current events, and we bring in history, we bring in feelings, we bring in different discussions. So now they get used to talking about just about everything. They get used to talking about just about everything. And as a result of that, now we start to direct them into reading, things that they enjoy reading about. And we're not giving them a book. Again, we're still not giving them a book. But we're doing, say, go online and find something about that subject, and then come back and present it to the program, present it to the group, come and talk to your peers about it, tell us about it. And that could be, they can go and watch a video, and they'll come back and tell us about the video that they watch. They may go in and do some research and find something online where they have to read, and they read, but they're practicing their skills. They're practicing their reading skills. They're practicing their writing skills. They're practicing their public speaking skills, being able to create some opportunities where they have that desire to want to do better, want to learn how to read. They see the benefits of reading. They see the benefits of writing. And that's, when starting a business, we talk about some of those benefits. When we do our math with our young people, and we don't just go in and start talking about 1 + 1 and 2 + 2 and all those kind of things. We talk about running a business. We talk about how to run a business. And if someone was to give you a contract, or you have a contract with a person and you say you want 10% up front, and I use 10% a lot because that helps them to get used to that 10% mindset. And I said, if a person gives you, say they're going to give you 10% up front on that contract, you need to know what 10% of that number is. So what does that do? That makes them understand that they need to know their math. So that way they don't get ripped off in their business, and they will go out and they will start working on math. It could be the plus, it could be the negatives, it could be the division, it could be, all those things. It'll be the basic math. It's not trigonometry and geometry, but learning the basic math skills, which is really what you need when you are out in the world. If you know how to add, subtract, and divide, you basically can run a business, because you know all the 3 skills you need in order to add, subtract, divide, and multiply, I should say, and multiply. So if you know those 4 skills, you can basically run any business that you have. Geometry and trigonometry, those things don't really apply into business. And I tell a lot of our young people, I said, when I do math, I apply everything to money. So even if I say 2 + 2, I'm saying if somebody give me $2, somebody else give me $2, how many dollars do I have? And so they start to look at it that same way, and they understand that, wow, I can use that. If I have $10 and I have to pay, this person $5 of my income, how much do I have left? So if I have $10 and I'm taking $5 away, how many dollars do I have left? So again, you're teaching them how to use math where they can see how it benefits them. And once they see how it benefits them as well in their business or in their life, or however they're applying it, they have a desire to want to learn more about it. And so that's how our programs work. So as I was saying to you earlier, I said we are starting 2 programs starting this week. As a matter of fact, they're supposed to probably started last week or the week before last. But with the election and different things going on, we had to move the programs back. So this week, we're supposed to start one program in Niagara Falls, and that's the From Boys to Men program. And we're going to be doing that for 8 weeks. And then we'll be doing one in the city of Buffalo, which is, I'm kind of excited because we're going to have 2 different cities taking part in our mentorship program this year. And that program will be in the city of Buffalo on Tuesdays. And then the Niagara Falls program will be on Mondays, which is tomorrow. And we will be starting out with just our introduction and, getting to know the children, helping them to understand what the program is about and why, why are they in the program? Not why I'm here to do the program. Why are you here? What do you expect to take away from this program? And from what I understand, especially the program in Niagara Falls, is some of the young men who were in my program the last year when we did the 8-week program, they asked to be back in the program this year. So that tells you how much they enjoyed the program and how much they felt they benefited from the program, that they requested to be back in the program again this year. So that's exciting to me to know that, we've had that effect on young people where they felt that they've learned things from the program and they wanted to be back to learn even more. And even, no matter how many times a young person may take our program, it's not scripted. We have an outline of things we're going to discuss. Because it's not scripted, it can come across different ways, different subjects, because we never cover everything. Even when we have the script, we never cover everything that needs to be covered in the program. So it allows us to be able to, do those things. And then if it's a young person that has been in the program, we bring them in and we have them discuss, the things that they've already took part in, and explain to some of the other young people, and even show some of the other young people how to do some of the things like tying a tie. That's one of the things that young men really enjoy, is we teach them how to tie ties. and we bring in ties. We get ties donated. So as a matter of fact, if any of you guys are out there and you have some extra ties or you want to donate some ties, please get in touch with me. You can give me a call, 716-316-7776, or you can email me at, where are you going to email me? Let me think. WillieAPrice@gmail.com, WillieAPrice@gmail.com. You can email me there and let me know if you have ties that you would like to donate, or if you'd like to donate some funds so we can go out and buy some ties. We can go to the thrift store and buy ties. But what we do is we teach the young men how to tie ties. You'd be surprised how many grown men don't know how to tie a tie. So what we do is we help these young men. We teach them how to tie a tie. We teach them how to dress for success. And that doesn't mean just wearing a suit and tie. That doesn't mean, wearing a pair of dress shoes and a suit and those kind of things, because a lot of these young men don't have those things. But showing them how they can dress in a manner where it looks decent, if depending on what situation they're or event that they're going to, how to dress properly for that event and feel comfortable and decent in their appearance. So we do dress for success. We do tying ties. We do, we have a chart and diagrams, and in our workbooks they have different samples of how to dress. So this way they can look at that and see, and then we do this list where we go through and we say, well, how many dress shirts do you have? How many polo shirts do you have? So they're able to write down, what they have and what they don't have and what they might want to consider getting. How many pair of Dickies do you have? Do you have any black dress shoes? What do you have? So this way it helps them to understand that these are things that I may need in order to be successful or dress for success. These are some of the things that I need to have so I can do that dress properly. So like I said, we do a lot of different things with our young people. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, was our For Boys to Men program. I'm very excited, again, because we're in the city of Buffalo and we're in Niagara Falls with both programs, both 8-week programs. And at the end of those 8 weeks, we can extend it for another 8 weeks with a new group, or we can continue with the group that we're with. And normally the administration of the schools that we attend, they determine who's going to do how they're going to do that, whether they're going to extend it with the same kids or if they're going to put a new group of young people in there. But either way, we're excited and we're glad to be a part of that. We are also working on a grant. We're working on a grant because we want to do a boys mentorship program, or even a boys and girls mentorship program. I'm looking at doing No Dream is Impossible, where we do both boys and girls, and we talk about relationship building, male-female relationship, because there's nobody doing that. You normally see groups as either a girls group or a boys group, a girls mentorship group or a boys mentorship group. And even with that, they never get together with a boys mentorship group and allow the two to network and collaborate and have discussions. And I remember my ex-wife and I, we used to do that. We used to do a part of our program. We would come in, she would come in, and she would take the girls and they would write questions that they wanted to ask the boys. And then I would take the boys, and then they would write questions that they want to ask the girls. And then that's what we would do. And we would pull a card, one from the boys, and we would read the question, and the girls would answer, and guys would ask questions. And then we pull one from the girls would answer, and the guys would ask questions. And we would go back and forth like that. And what it did was it created a great opportunity for young people to have a dialogue and create a better understanding with each other without feeling embarrassed. Because when you're just having that discussion, it allowed them to talk about and ask questions. And some maybe not even ask questions, but they just sat and listened. And they got an opportunity to see how the girls thought and how the girls felt about certain things. And one of the questions made me think about, and I'll talk about that too. And then the boys would ask the questions and then find out, what the girls felt. And one of the questions that the girls asked was, why do guys feel it's okay to hit a girl? And I remember that question like it was just yesterday, because it's a very good question. And we didn't ask where did your question come from or why do you ask that question. We just asked the question. And then because it was written down, it didn't have to be a young person standing up and asking the question and feeling embarrassed. We just read off the question. And then the boys answer. And some of the questions, some of the answers from the young men on that question was just really, it was puzzling, but it was also interesting to show you what's going on in the homes. And the young ladies, when they ask those questions, it's not because, it's just a question, but again, it's because of things that they've seen in the home. It's things that they've experienced where a boy is hitting a girl, or they see a man hitting their mother, so it opened some dialogue, but it also created some understanding, because then young ladies also expressed how they felt when a boy hit them. And so it was really an interesting dialogue between the young people. So I think the grant that we're going to try to work on getting this year is going to be so we can fund our No Dream is Impossible, which is both boys and girls, where we do a mentorship program with both the boys and the girls, and help to create a better dialogue and understanding and develop relationship building between not only the youth with each other, but the youth with their parents, youth with their teachers, youth with their employers as they get older and get a job. We want to open the door where all those things are discussed and understood. So we'll probably start that at maybe 7th or 8th grade and go up to 9th or 10th grade. We don't, and keep it at that group, and that we can get, or even do 2 groups. But we'll see what happens with that. Again, I just wanted to talk about those things and share with you some of the programs that we're doing under Mother's Love, which is all about helping our young people to be successful, physical, personal, and financial development for our young men and for our young people. So keep an eye out for us. If you have ties, you want to donate, I gave that information, 716-316-7776 for our number. Or you can email me at willieaprice@gmail.com. If you'd like to donate so we can get ties for the young men, then give me a call or send me an email about that as well. But we will be starting this week in the city of Buffalo and in the city of Niagara Falls with our young people, our young men. And then hopefully this year we will be able to get the grant to get our No Dream is Impossible program going. I found a location that said they would consider us hosting it there, which would be a great location, I believe. And so that's what we want to do, is put everything together, bring the community together, bring parents together, and just help our young people to create a better lifestyle for themselves. Again, my name is Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Like, share, tell a friend. Every Sunday at 8 o'clock, we will be here discussing how to create better lifestyles for ourselves. Next week is Think and Grow Wealth, where we're going to do financial literacy. And you definitely want to join us, because we're going to talk about some things to get ready to go into the New Year's on how to save and prepare to have some nice income for the year 2024. So you guys have a blessed day, a blessed night, a blessed week, a blessed year. And I will see you next Sunday, God willing. Take care.